All right, hi students, it's Mr. Hatchgasson here, and today we're going to learn about the equation of a circle. Now, the equation of a circle with the center at 0, 0, or the center at the origin, is in the form of x squared plus y squared is equal to the radius squared. So let's think about this circle over here. So what would be the equation of this circle? Well, the radius is the distance from the center to the circumference. So that would be the radius. Also, again, from the center to the circumference, that would also be the radius. So the radius of this circle is going to be 3. Therefore, the equation of this circle is going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to 3 squared. Alternatively, you may also see some people write the equation of the circle as x squared plus y squared is equal to 9, because this is still true. 3 squared will give us 9. And another thing just to keep an eye out on, if you look here, the distance from the center to the circumference again, vertically is still 3. And then the distance from the center going down is still 3. And this distance is again still 3. And likewise, this distance is going to be 3 as well. Because again, by definition, the radius is the distance from the center to the circumference. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Now let's try some different examples. So here it says, find the equation of the circle. So once again, similar to what we just did, our circle has a radius of, so from the center, we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the circumference. So the radius is going to be 5. Therefore, the equation of the circle is going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to 5 squared. And again, be mindful the center is at the origin. And at GCSE level, you won't deal with circles where the center is not at the origin. So you shouldn't see anything where, for instance, the center was at -2, 2. Okay, so pretty straightforward again. Let's try another example. Just before I move on, again, we could have rewritten this as x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. And if you ever saw, say, for instance, if you saw the equation of a circle, so it was in the form of x squared plus y squared is equal to, say, 64, find the radius. Well, in this case, the radius is going to be the square root of 64, which is 8. So for this equation, the radius is equal to 8. And let's see the next example. And this is exactly what we just talked about. So it says, draw the circle x squared plus y squared is equal to 4 with the center 0, 0. Now, you may be tempted to mark your points at 4, at 4, at -4, and at -4, and then with a compass go round, making sure you go through all 4 points. Now, I'm not doing it with a compass, I'm doing it freehand, but in an exam you will have to do it with a compass. So please be mindful of that. However, what is the problem here then? What is the problem? Well, you can pause the video and answer and check to see if you were right. But the problem is that currently this is not in the form of x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. This is not in this form. Therefore, to make it into this form, in the form of the equation of a circle, we would have to take the square root of 4. Therefore, we can rewrite the equation of the circle that we have as x squared plus y squared is equal to 2 squared. Therefore, our radius is not 4, but instead it's going to be 2. So we would have to mark the point at 2 on our coordinate axes. And what it would look like is this. So we'll have 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here, 1 point here. And again, with your compass, just join the points together and this is what your circle would look like. All right, so again, pretty straightforward. Now let's do some problem solving questions. So it says find the radius of the circle with a center at the origin. So again, it's telling us the center is at the origin, so the center is 0, 0. How do we go ahead and do this then? In fact, one other thing to be mindful, this question could have been rephrased as find the equation of the circle. So as long as you find the radius, you will be able to find the equation of the circle. So how do we go about finding the radius? Well, the radius is the distance from the center, from the origin, all the way to the circumference. So I've joined this diagonal line here. Now, what I can actually do is to draw a triangle. And this would be a right angle triangle over here. And think about the maths knowledge you have. When we have right angle triangles, to work out the longest side, or in fact to work out any side, we can apply Pythagoras' theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Now, do we know this horizontal distance? Well, actually we do. This coordinate here, that's been given to us, so we need to try and make use of this. So this point here is 6 from the x-axis, so we would have to go 6 across or 6 to the right. So this distance would be 6. And then we would have to go 8 down. So even though it's -8, we can just label this side as 8 or -8. It doesn't matter because we're going to square it anyway. So we can just say -8. So we're going 6 to the right and 8 down. Therefore, we have the length of sides of our triangle. Now we need to work out the hypotenuse, which is the longest side. Therefore, 6 squared plus, you could have either written 8 or -8. -8 squared is equal to c squared. C squared being our radius. Well, c being our radius, I should say. And what do we get here? So we get 36 plus 64 is equal to c squared. C is therefore equal to the square root of 36 plus 64 is 100. So c is equal to the square root of 100. C is therefore equal to 10. So this distance here, the radius, is therefore equal to 10. So the distance from the center to the circumference is 10. And if we were to ask to write the equation of the circle, well, the equation of the circle would be x squared plus y squared is equal to 10 squared, or x squared plus y squared is equal to 100. All right, so let's do another question. So this one, it says, find the equation of the circle with center 0, 0. So how do we go about doing this one then? Well, I need to again find the radius. That's the key part of doing this question. And this is a little bit tricky because I can't really work with anything. But again, we've been given a set of coordinates. Therefore, we need to try and make use of these. Now, what we're saying is we are going 10 to the right, because this coordinate, our x coordinate is 10 and our y coordinate is 6. So we're going 10 across, 10 to the right, and we are going up by 6. So that's going to be plus 6. So this distance here is going to be plus 6. And if this is the center, if this is the origin, then this coordinate here is going to be 0, 6. Therefore, this distance is 6. Therefore, the radius is going to be 6. So again, now that I know the radius is equal to 6, I can work out the equation of my circle, which is going to be x squared plus y squared is equal to the radius squared, so 6 squared, or we could have written it as x squared plus y squared is equal to 36. So both of these would be correct. All right, so let's do one last example. So this one is a little bit trickier. It says find the radius of the circle with a center at the origin. So the center is at 0, 0. And how do we go about doing this? So we don't have any coordinates. But what we do know is that this line with the equation 3y minus 2x plus 10 intersects the circle at this point here. Now at this point, this is on the x-axis, so our y-coordinate, whatever x is, our y-coordinate would have to be 0, because any point on the x-axis, y is always 0. Therefore, to find this x-coordinate, well, what we can do is use the equation of this line. We can sub in y as being 0 to find x, because in reality, if we were to make x the subject, we could work out x whatever y value we had. So for instance, if I was to make x the subject, I can say 3y plus 10 is equal to 2x. Therefore, x is equal to 3y plus 10 over 2. So when y is equal to 0, what is x going to be then? So what I need to do, so given that x is my subject, I need to sub in the value of y, which in this case, at this coordinate is 0. So what we'll get is 3 times 0 plus 10 over 2 is equal to x. Now, 3 times 0 is just 0. 0 plus 10 is 10. And 10 divided by 2, well, that's going to be 5. So x is 5 when y is 0. Therefore, my x coordinate at this point is going to be 5. And that makes life really easy, because now I know the distance from the center to the circumference is 5 units to the right. Therefore, the distance from the center to the circumference is 5. So our radius is going to be equal to 5. So it says find the radius of the circle with a center at the origin. So the radius is equal to 5. And then part B, it says determine if the points 3, 4 lie on the circle. Now to do this, we need to find the equation of the circle first. So I'm just going to rub this out. And the equation of our circle is x squared plus y squared is equal to 5 squared, which is going to be 25. So what would, if this coordinate, if these 2 points lie on our circle, then if we were to sub these 2 coordinates into our equation has to be equal to 25. So let's try it out. So 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to, well, that's going to be 9 plus 16. 9 plus 16 is 25. Therefore, these 2 points lie on the circle because they satisfy this equation. So if we sub in these values, this equation still holds true. So the points 3, 4 would be, say, somewhere along here, where we go 3 across, 3 to the right, and 4 up. So determine if the points lie on the circle. These are the workings out that we need to do. And we can say, yes, the points or the coordinates or points, doesn't really matter, are on the circle. And that's really it. So with the equation of the circle, it can get a bit more complicated, especially when you have tangents involved. But this lesson is not going to do the equation of a circle with tangents. That will be done with a different lessons, and you will need to have some knowledge of circle theorems to be able to do circles and tangents as well. But this one was all about the equation of the circle and finding the radius or finding the equation of a circle when you're given a certain amount of information. Right, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I wish you all the best. Bye.